Well, I was wrong about this one. I should have stuck my original theory that Kirin was a revolutionary. But Giskar's ass, who is this woman, we got a lot to cover. But let's start from the top. So the scan started off with Lobadon and Hugo's exchange, and Hugo gets a report that Lobadon's forces is active defensively. Now, strangely enough, we get a report about the gate that was destroyed, and the vice captain said it was, connected to some ship that didn't really matter. But it's weird enough that they didn't know that a gate so connected to them was connected to another ship, and that they have no affiliation with it. I feel like we gotta remember this detail for later. So this all leaves Hugo with a choice in strategy, and she's not sure what to do. But we cross over to Lobadon's crew, and Lobadon says that it'd be a mistake for Hugo and other high rankers to attack because both sides will have a lot of casualties. I mean, no surprise there. We've seen like Kill smash an entire corpse. But it appears that Hugo already has quite the reputation. Now, maybe not as extensive as Lobadon, but he's aware of her, and it says that she's known to be quite a humanitarian. Now, this was a little crazy. So, the guy who was selling shoes to Hugo turns out to be involved with Bellier and a revolutionary. I found it to be kind of crazy that Bellier texted him and said that Hugo basically isn't in line with his aims. And so he goes and opens this giant suitcase and basically tells who or whatever's in it, eliminate everybody trying to stop the coup. Coup? Another coup. Well, it's basically confirmed that Bellier and Kirin are working together, because the only time we've heard coup was on Kirin's side. Now we're hearing it from somebody directly involved with Bellier. Bellier and Kirin are working together. I've already mentioned this before, that Kirin said, and what Bellier said, and others like Gururu, they want destruction in the tower. So it's not hard to put two and two together. Coups on top of destruction equals revolutionary. And I will say, even though I know you guys are going to say this is a reach, but I honestly think Gustang is in command of the revolutionaries. Now, hear me out. The revolutionaries are made up of the children, it sounds like, of the families. So we don't know how extensive this is. We don't know if we have Ha family members, Kun, Ari family members involved, but they have to be a pretty big group, right? Despite that, unless they have a top 10, top 15 people in their group, this group is insignificant. Like, for instance, like, Walkie-Song has Urek and Beiryuk, and I'm not sure what Lustlek's rank is in the tower, but I'm pretty sure it's probably top 15, top 20 at the least. So with that being said, who could be backing the revolutionaries? I honestly think Bellier is loyal to his father. And I say this because if you go back to chapter 552 and you listen to him talk about his father after he gave the speech to start the war, he sounded like somebody who admired his father. That doesn't seem like somebody who's a traitor to me. And I say it to add to it, Gustang may be manipulating the revolutionaries through the shadows, meaning that I want you to run this group through me. Meaning that Gustang will never show himself to be a revolutionary or in control or have power. Because Bellier just does not seem to want to go against his father. And why would you want to go against Gustang, who doesn't necessarily seem like he's okay with the status quo? So he kind of goes in line with the revolutionaries. Now, he doesn't necessarily want destruction, but he doesn't like the current status. So I'm going to say that Gustang is probably ultimately the leader of the revolutionaries through the shadows. But this revelation definitely proves that Kirin is not loyal to Trom. So I know a lot of you guys where Kirin wants the true Trom to come back, and Kirin is ultimately loyal. He's willing to sacrifice his family, blah, blah, blah. Kirin ain't that, man. Kirin is the most disloyal snake in the family. He got half his family smoked. I didn't understand his moves the last couple chapters, because getting rid of your family who is your support, but you still want to capture Bomb, doesn't make sense. So there has to be somebody backing him, and the revolutionaries are that. What could be causing Kirin to do this? Because everybody has to have their own motivations to join the revolutionaries, right? It can't be just like destroy. There's got to be something else there. There's got to be something that made him go against his father. Is it because of that missing branch that got destroyed? It's not because of what I guessed previously, that Kirin got tired of his brothers and sisters getting mistreated. It's clearly not that, because he just sacrificed half of them. So what is Kirin's aims? I want to hear you guys' thoughts on that. Leave it in the comments. And this also shows that the detachment that Kirin had sent to Lobadon, we've all been wondering where they are. They're attacking Hugo. But why are they attacking Hugo, though? I don't understand that. What's the point of attacking Hugo, who, one, doesn't know anything about the book, who has no real significance strategically, if we're being honest? What's the point of attacking her? Originally, when Kirin spoke, it sounded like he was going to attack Lobadon. But regardless of what this causes, we know that Kirin is definitely going to show up now. I mentioned previous that Kirin's going to the Pobidu station to capture Bomb. But when Bomb shows up here on this field, his forces might get wind of that, and they're definitely going to report to Kirin like, hey, he's here. So we might get a Kirin versus Lobadon here. Especially if Kirin tells Lobadon about what happened to the other Lobopia family members. But Hugo responds pretty fast with a strategy. She sends her rankers out, and so she decides to go straight in for the attack to attack Lobadon. She is clearly a fisherman based on her weapon, so her attack kind of reminded me of like a Grand Zero from Bleach. She just sent a Shinsu blast up and down the field. And again, she's a little bit cringy for me, guys. I don't like her fighting style, but she's doing all this, and I'm not feeling it. But Lobadon shows up, and he's the first Hokage. My man got wood style Shinsu, and that's pretty cool. Him and Hugo have a conversation, and Hugo mentions that, yeah, we're both pretty famous, but Lobadon's basically like, look, we both can't afford to fight right now. But Hugo goes, you attacking my ship right now, unless you gonna make this stop, like, we got rumble. And I thought this interaction was interesting because we've already seen Lobadon hide information, like he hid information from Yama's group. He's also hiding information here that attack has nothing to do with him. But he's not willing to trade on Kirin regardless of this attack. He's going to regret this because once he learns that his family's branches were attacked and left alone by Kirin. And so now we transition to Yama, Giskar, and Uracha, and Uracha is on his deathbed, as we all assumed. And me, I'm actually getting hyped because it looks like it's about to be a 1v1 Yama versus Giskar. Bruh, this shit is unfucking believable. So Uracha comes up with a plan to basically attack Giskar and tells Yama to go full throttle on him. Yama one-shot this man's head off. I don't know if we've ever seen such a mid-fucking high ranker. Holy shit. Giskar was a fucking fraud. Like, bro, we talk about the weakest families and how Pobidu is the weakest family. Bro, this man is definitely representing that rumor. Because how do you just get one tapped so hard your head comes off, bro? I'm still not over that shit. Like, that shit has me in disbelief. Like, I even made Giskar a thumbnail for one of my reviews, and this man got his shit split. Moving on. After that, Uracha is basically still on his deathbed, but I think he died here, guys. So Yama carries him up the steps, and they have a small conversation where Uracha says, you should become the leader of the Beastkin, and Yama said that my dad really cared about you, and I didn't expect Yama to get so soft. Like, Uracha did cause a lot of his suffering. I guess they've been allies for a little while now, right? Uracha's last breath is basically telling Yama to fulfill his mother's dream and become leader of the Beastkin. And I think that was his last sentence. It's not said that he's dead or we don't know, but that was like a good line to go out to. So we can assume that Catman's dead. Oh, and I also thought it was interesting that Uracha said that this power made the great families wary. I didn't think that there was anything for them to worry about. Now obviously the power can't be that great that it's as strong as them, but if it's something to be wary about, it's gotta be a threat, right? But okay, well, what the fuck is this? See, every week we do these predictions and we talk about the chapters and shit, but we cannot predict everything, guys. Because who is this woman that runs up to Giskar's body? She's talking to herself and acting dramatic about Giskar being dead, but then turns around and has a crazy smile. She clearly doesn't care, and then it turns out that she's the book bearer. I mean, like, the book was actually there. It was at the lot, but it was hidden in plain sight, which is obviously the most genius move to do. Like, to think that Gustang would actually leave a book out there for everybody is dumb. But what I'm also confused about is, who are these other guys? So, the last couple chapters, we got Dumas and the Book Bearer. And we assumed that it was these two guys, but it isn't actually them. It's whoever this girl is, and she's the one who's going to bring it to Gustang. So my assumption is, right, guys, mind you, the chapter ended with her saying she's going to bring the book to Gustang. But my assumption is Gustang must have told her, however, because she mentions that she's been there for years. Gustang sent her there and must have told her that the day I want you to bring this back to me is when I send a high ranker to the ship and he's going to pretend to get the fake book. That had to be code between just him and her. And that's nuts. But Gustang seems like he had a contingency plan around everything, just in case, you know, even if Bel-Air turns out to be against his father, he has a contingency plan that nobody knows about. But I even went back to when we first got introduced to Giskar to look at this woman. There's nothing suspicious about her. She just seems like a background character. So this was a complete plot twist. Nothing super exciting, but didn't expect it. So that's basically the end of the chapter, and I do have some predictions and theories, right? So, what was the purpose of Kirin attacking Hugo? Then, what is the purpose of the gate that's connected to the lot? So, my assumption would be that Gustang sent Hugo to the victor. He sent Hugo to the victor not just recently, like it hasn't been that long. But the book bearer has held this book for a long time. So maybe whenever it was time for the book bearer to go, this person was to go to Hugo and just transfer to the ship to transport back to Gustang safely. That's just my assumption. But now that it's destroyed, now what do we do? Because this person still has to bring the book. I feel like we'll get a scene soon in the next couple chapters where the book bearer is going to go to the warp gate and find out it's destroyed. Now there's also another side to this. If Giskar somehow was manipulated by Bellier, or if he was sent by Gustang, whatever the case, I think that Bellier was probably assuming to steal the book as well. Because Bellier is the one who gave the information to Lobadon about the book's location, right? And Kirin's forces, from what we know from the beginning, were sent there to attack Lobadon. Kirin's forces would use the broken gate to go to the lot, to get the actual book, and come back. And then Kirin himself would capture Bomb, because capturing Bomb would be the hardest thing to do. So Kirin himself would have to go do that while his forces go retrieve the book. And that way the revolutionaries control Gustang's memory and the irregular. That would be a chess move if it worked out the way it would. That would put the revolutionaries like at the top of threats in the entire story. But obviously things did not happen that way. So I think that theory is pretty close to what's going on. If you guys have anything better or any holes, please, you know what to do. Comment in that section. But yeah, I think the next chapters, we probably go back to seeing the branch heads get slaughtered, and then we probably get Kirin arriving to the Pobidu station. So, but crazy chapter. I give it a 6.5 out of 10. I wasn't really a fan of Giskar's character. He felt kind of a waste. And I hope we get a little bit explanation on him later on. That's the chapter rating, guys. 6.5 out of 10. I still don't care for Hugo and her character. Her versus Lobudon might be a little lit. And I'm excited to see branches from Lobopia go down. But do expect a stream. I'll let you know whether it's going to be Wednesday or Thursday, guys. That's me, Ordering Mark. And I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.